be honest with you, we talked about the 13 years that I've been here, but in reality, I started working here as a volunteer back in 1992. So technically, I've been working here for 30 years. And but we started out, like in '92. One of the guys from SABA came over, and that was Jose Martinez. He came over to Trinity Baptist Church and wanted to know if we wanted to get involved in multi-housing ministry. And we thought, apartments, that's a good idea. So we accepted the role and found out it was Alazan Apache Courts. Now, if anybody's familiar with Alazan Apache Courts, they know what I'm talking about. Only time we knew about them was at night, was either a shooting or a drug deal going bad. So we were a little hesitant, but we did anyway. And it worked out to a great partnership with SABA as we did that for most of the 90s. And we expanded on it through that decade. Also, a lady by the name of Camille Simmons was a staff member here and got me involved in missions. We worked on a committee, and we did a lot of mission work. One of the things we did was a missions banquet we had every year, and we wanted to get all the missions together and have booths, and they came in and then they had a banquet there at that same time. We did that at a bunch of times, I think at Churchill Baptist Church and stuff like that. So it was a great opportunity, but we did that. Of course, I was working full time during that, but I was a part of SABA during that period of time. And then the 2000s came along, and we started having disasters. And one of them was a flood that we had here in San Antonio. We had 50 inches of rain in Bandera, and all of that rainwater and flooding came down into San Antonio and into New Braunfels in that area. So we got involved with Texas Baptist Men. And Harold Teague, Ben Freeman, myself, and started working on getting volunteers to get involved, because we had money now to buy a couple trailers and a lot of equipment, and so what we needed people to basically get involved with it. So we had training. Matter of fact, here at SABA, we had training. Probably trained close to 300 people over that period. The next 2 or 3 years, we had that. In '03, of course, we had the Shuttle Columbia disaster. I went up with Ben, and we went up and went in the woods and did some searching for debris from the shuttle. We had a lot of Texas Baptist men up there with us, most of them from Dallas area that came up. I just had a great opportunity to work together, once again, with SABA. We also had, in '05 was Katrina, and we developed a warehouse here, or a distribution center that we had, and it was a great opportunity, because then we had a lot of churches coming together, working together. We had that thing, because now we had about 20,000 people coming in from New Orleans that came here, and they needed clothing, they needed food, they needed furniture, they needed diapers, they needed water. And so we were able to do that through the generosity of our churches here. We got stuff from California that came in, and we had stuff that came in from New York. The neat thing about it is we had a warehouse for it. It was the Albertson store, which is now Tri-Point with Trinity Baptist Church. We had a great opportunity for about 2 months to work there, and then we moved on and worked with Catholic Charities, and finishing up for the next year. It took that long just to get people situated, basically, to do that. But that was in '05 and '06. And in '08, we had another disaster when we worked with Texas Baptist Men again on that. And so we had a lot of things. Also in '07, the Southern Baptist Convention was here in San Antonio, and they asked me to come in and kind of help coordinate that here at SABA. And this was actually I got paid for that, so it was pretty exciting to get paid for so. But it was a great opportunity, and that kind of propelled me in when they asked me in '09 to come in and work here. And once again, it was called Texas Hope 2010. And of course, by then I was already employed here, and we started doing that and did that for several years, and then escalated, of course, into to a lot of more community development, including the Hunger Walk, and that's kind of how we got started with that. And it kind of exploded, and we kind of went whatever the Lord wanted us to do. We got involved with that. So it was a great opportunity to come here and work with the San Antonio Baptist Association. Well, I think it started because we had a group here in town. It was called it was a transition team or something, and they did it at Woodlawn Lake. And I talked to Dr. Price at the time. We said, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. So it was a little bit different. Is that we would get sponsors, and we collect money, and then we give the money to them, and then we do the 5K. And it was really 5K was really about once around Woodlawn Lake, and that was in May of 2010. We got a little money out of it, but it kind of spurred and said, you know what, we could do that as Baptists. There's no problem with that. There's no problem that we can't get in there and do this ourselves. And so that, in fact, that same year in November, we started the Hunger Walk, and we started with a committee, and it kind of built it, and now, of course, 13 years later. My memories have always been working with our churches and working with the people. I mean, our staff, we've always got along well. So there really wasn't anybody that we disliked, you know. If they are, they're gone now. So it must be a difference. No, the Hunger Walk was good. I never started out with the Hunger Walk. I never came here to do that. When Dr. Price told me, Steve, we're going to put you on, there's only 3 or 4 things I want you to do. Because when Camille was doing it, she had about 10, 15 different, plates going at one time. And I said, I can't do that. In fact, I'm part-time. I've always been part-time. At least I've been paid as a part-timer. So, but Camille did a lot of stuff, and Dr. Price said, no, we don't expect you to do 3 or 4 things. And really, one of them really wasn't the hunger, until we realized that how many churches are involved in doing the hunger, and how the need was here in San Antonio. We realized, we can make a difference. We got 100 we have 200 now. We have 250 Baptist churches around San Antonio, and we can make a difference by having a Hunger Walk. But I think the main purpose always was a Hunger Walk was because we wanted to develop, I guess, a sense of coming together in fellowship as Baptist churches. You can go ask other churches to get involved. It's not the same. It's not the same when you're all together as Baptists, working together, praying together, and having fun together. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do, and do it with a purpose. And a lot of our churches are food pantry churches, and they needed the money. They needed the funds to come into it. So it was nice. By doing the Hunger Walk and other things that we had, we always included the churches. We knew what churches were food pantries. So when something came up that applied to them, we made sure that they knew about it. So we always had kind of a communication with our church. We knew. Now, one of the things we worked on is we didn't ask the pastors to get involved. All we asked the pastor was to give us permission, especially for the Hunger Walk, to do this. And usually the pastor said, well, I can't do it. I said, but who can? And usually we'll get somebody there. First of all, if they're ahead of the food pantry doing the work, they got the heart. And so I'd ask them for them to be my contact person. And that's the main thing, is have a contact person at the church that you can deal with. They know you, you know them, you visit them, you get the hunger. Matter of fact, I made sure that when we had our envelopes to go out, I made sure I took them to them. In all possibility to meet with them, talk to them, and tell them, especially the first couple, to tell them what's going on and how we're doing this and stuff. So it really, the contact, communication with the churches really helped a lot, because they knew you knew them, and and if ever a problem came up, they were there, and I was there to help. I think it's just continuing relationships, continue looking for the different ways that we can help our church. That's what San Antonio Baptist is all about. The association is about helping our churches and getting involved with our churches and helping them. Most of our churches were food pantries that didn't have the fund to do it. They were small churches. They were churches on side of town that really needed to have a food pantry, and that's one reason why we got started. But the food pantries were small because they didn't have the resources, and that's one reason we wanted to get money to them so they could build their and have the confidence. When people are standing at the door, they're hungry, and you say, "Where are we going to get the funding? Where are we going to get the food?" And realize we've got money. We've got SABA that can help us if we ever get in a bind. If we need a freezer or a refrigerator or shelving or something for our pantry, if we need some guidance, we're there to help them. Mm-hmm. And that was the whole thing, was to be able to work with our churches. Now, we work with non-Baptist churches, and I'm going to say non-churches because some of them were more like concerned, not concerned, they were more food banks that we work with the San Antonio Food Bank. The reason we did that is because we had a lot of people, a lot of churches that were involved with the San Antonio Food Bank, and so we wanted to stay in good graces with the San Antonio Food Bank, to give them funding to help, because we realized that money, some of that money is coming back to our Baptist churches and to the city of San Antonio. We wanted to make sure that all the money that we raised came and went to San Antonio and our area, and that's what we did. Didn't send it out to to New York City or something like that. Go see the Astros play, or go to Corpus Christi or Port Aransas, or we've been to New Braunfels, Kerrville, Fredericksburg, places like that, even farther out. We may go out of state. I don't know. We Pamela and I look at that. We're not going to rush into anything, and who knows what the Lord has in store for me. He may have another job waiting for me. I don't know.
Are you going to visit us for Thursday lunches?
Only if you're paying for
it. Deal.
No. I mean, yes, but let's don't do it awful lot. I mean, once a month maybe, or something like that, or. It amazes me, as a Christian, you need the support of other people, and it's nice to be able to have somebody that not only do you have their back, but they have your back, and you work together, you laugh together, have fun together, your family, and that's the family. And it's wonderful to have all these churches and all these pastors I've gotten to know, and a lot of lay people in the different churches I've gotten to know and love, that it's been a blessing to me. It's always been a blessing to me. When we've helped somebody, they get blessed, but the person, you're getting blessed through working with other people. And I think it's so important to do that. So it's a great thing. So what I want to just share was I just thank everyone that's been a part of me, that has helped me become stronger in what I've done, and given me an encouragement to continue to do it. And that's something I would love to, I guess memories more than anything.